let's do a little rapid fire, quick thoughts on different kids' bikes. Okay, overpriced plastic toys, 6 volts, 12 volts, where they are, plastic wheels. If your kid doesn't ride, cool, there's something to play on. If your kids want to ride, waste. Strider bike, that's aluminum base. If I picked it up, it weighs nothing. You don't want the steel bikes. The steel bikes are like $110. These things, it could be like $150 to $200, depends what brand you get. Aluminum, your kid, 9 to 18 months can ride that thing. It weighs nothing, and that thing is just always great to play on. StayCycle bikes. These things are really the first motorized bike to get you going. So if you had a small kid, the StayCycle 12 could get you going. My second kid, at age 2 years, 5 months, he kind of skipped that one. He wasn't really interested. Then just 1 week, he tried this. Next week, we go to his older brother at track. His older brother's riding his bike. He was 4 at the time, the older brother. He dragged that thing onto the track and just rode it, period. But it doesn't have suspension, and so he immediately went up to the O-Sit, which has some suspension. Okay, it has real brakes. This thing's awesome. The only thing I don't like about this, it's a trials bike, so these bicycle tires and these oddball bicycle rims. If it had real MX wheels, 10-inch or 12-inch, whatever it is, real MX, that thing would be money. But it doesn't. But it's designed for trials, not trail or MX. So something in that family is what you need to get a kid going. Under age 4, it's a combination of those. You could put a seat on this guy. You can make one, a little foam piece, kind of fill in the gap. As he gets bigger, you could do that. I would say this is really like 18 months through 3, maybe 3.5, depends on the size of the kid. That's kind of the range for these. This is the traditional stuff, Pee-wee 50. Have 2 of them. Originally was going to big bore this, modify it. This guy is modified a little bit. They're okay, but they're so dated, haven't changed in 30 years. And there's so many different options today. I'd never buy those again. I'll just say that. I would never buy them. I'll tell you what I would do in here in a second. Okay. Now these are more of race bikes. These are MX bikes, not the trail bikes, all the different variations of TTRs, XRs, all that type of stuff. This is the real stuff. The center one is a Cobra P3. That is the equivalent to a KTM Mini. Those two go back and forth in the gas-powered 50 racing until this new tech came out, just here for Christmas. The battery bikes on each side are different. I'll give the feedback over here. This O-Set, we're happy with. It is half the price of this guy, but this guy's a beast. The reason why I like this guy is we're about to shave down the seat. This seat over here we should be able to knock it down at least 2 inches. We'll do that tonight, and that will make it the same size as this guy. And so at that point, like I said, I don't know what you do with one of these guys. The only thing I could think of, you want your kid to ride all day long, you don't want to charge it. If that's the case, yeah, but then you give up everything in exchange for that one. It's a trade-off of problems though, but I'd rather deal with charging this thing, you might want to get mad and complain because it's just better. These little things don't have any power, that's why you probably should modify them. You can't race like that, but it's only once you wind them out, so they're big and heavy and nothing's good on them. Suspension is the worst thing ever. So if you want to jump with them, nope. You need a real MX bike to do that. So that's more just putt trail stuff. If that's the intended use case, then it does that. If you want to do more, wrong tool, wrong job. So for us, we like motocross. That's why shaving the seat down, that thing would be gone. So what we do, if I had another little kid, we'd like get you going 18 months to about 3. My 3-year-old, he just turned 3 a couple weeks ago. So let me shave the seat down. He's gonna ride it. He's already ridden that one if I hold it up for him. And so he should be able to touch with 1 foot, just tiptoe with 1 foot, all he needs to come to a stop, and he's rolling. So that's why I really like that one. Okay, then this bike gets you, honestly, so now if you're MX, this bike is probably you could probably, again, you could do it at 3 if you shave the seat down. We drop down the forks, we drop the rear shock mount. That with that shaved seat, you could get a kid rolling at 3 because this battery power, as soon as you learn it, is you can dial the power bound. They can learn the throttle control, right? And that thing gets it rolling. There's no dead spots. You got power everywhere. So the big thing doesn't come to a stop and just tip over on them. They're able to just tractor through things. So battery powder gets kid learning ASAP. Okay, these guys, this is set in the mini setting, right? Which is 22-inch seat height. Again, 4 inches taller than this. Then it's traditional bigger brother, which would be a junior, then a senior. And that is all 3-in-1, and that's the mini size right there, 22-inch. But either way, this thing's a beast. It's legit. That 50 compared to this one is like a snail compared to a cheetah. There is no comparison. That's my 3-year-old right there. He wants to ride this guy. He calls it Big O Set. So that thing's beast. And the only problem over here, you don't have traditional maintenance. That's it. But fuel in it, just keep going. That's awesome. So I don't care if you like the Husky, the KTM Mini, or you run the Cobra P3. They're both great bikes. But then the problem is once your kid gets older, like more the 5 or 6, you're gonna move up to a, possibly a junior and a senior. But this guy's all 3-in-1. You got to use a lowering kit, which is hardware, to drop down the forks from like 9 inches to 5 inches. That's how you bring it down to the 22, which makes these twin. But this thing is quality everything. The tuning, the battery, right? The brakes, the handling, the balance, the power modes. It does 6. I was going to tip over for a second. It does 6 over there. We're running just 3. 3 is more than enough for us right now. Real everything. The only downside of this guy is money. Lots of money for that guy. But this will be the future. The problem is these two bikes, if you're doing MX, you got to be about 5 years and older with size, skills, and attitude to kind of ride them. And so that's kind of why I kind of like this one. This one's going to let you kind of get at it a little bit sooner and not be stuck in the traditional trail, only little bikes that exist that are trash. So that's why I like that guy. And this guy over here is just for reference. This is 100, which is 85 big wheel with a board and stroke motor. So we have a few of those. That's just put it for size comparison. I like that one for giving kids rides versus the big bikes. And yeah, so that's kind of quick overview. So if you race, if you're an MX person, you're gonna be running one of these two. Neither one's right or wrong. That's the new stuff, which will replace this. But this one, you don't have to deal with battery charging issues.
Hi, Daddy.
This guy is a good in-betweener. If you're not quite big enough to ride this guy, you could make the jump from there to get you going. Because you don't want to push your kid too much, but you don't want to hold them back either.
That's why, Daddy.
And my kid was just held back by this. They're not bad, but he's a very skilled young kid. I mean, he was doing wheelies and jumping with this guy, quick as can be. And we take this thing to the track, and he's running it around it off the rev limiter the whole time. So anyways, that's kind of some quick feedback. That's little Jackson wants to go ride the bikes right now. And so it all depends on what you're trying to do. But there's not one bike that fits all, or, like, hey,
No?
I could be so smart and I can only buy one thing or save money. It just depends what you want to do. Here you can see how small this guy is. He's 4, and that thing's just a toy to him, and he wants to go play, be creative with that one. I love that one. Real rubber, MX rims, rubber hubs. This stuff is bicycle stuff, but small gets you going. Then jump up to really, what do you want to do?